This video will cover all things Canvas assignments. To create a new assignment, I am going to click on the Assignments icon in the course navigation. From here, I'm going to click on the blue plus assignment button. First, I'm going to give my assignment a name. And I'm going to use this as my directions. I'll come back and clarify all the things you can do in this section in just a moment. Because this is an assignment and it will be graded, it wants you to choose the point value. This simply means when you put this in the gradebook, how many points is this assignment worth? I personally grade just about everything out of 100. The assignment group is not relevant. We're just going to leave that alone. And you most likely want to display this grade as points. However, if you are just giving feedback on complete or incomplete, that is another option as well. You're going to choose your submission type. You're going to determine how many times they can submit this. You're probably not doing anything with group assignments at this point, or peer reviews and anonymous grading. From here, the last part that you'll be very familiar with using as the year goes on is the Assign To. So when you have your different sections and you've got A-Day classes and B-Day classes, you're going to be able to go in here and put in different sections for different dates. So I would want to make this, instead of assigning it to everyone, I would assign it to my first section, which is just called Sandbox. I'm going to give it a due date and a time, but I can also assign it to my other sections on a different day. So if my Sandbox is my A-Day course and the IIC is my B-Day course, I can go in and choose a different due date for that one as well. So this is going to be the part that is very handy to you when you have your classes all joined together. From here, I would go ahead and hit Save or Save and Publish, but these are just the settings. So keep watching to learn about the different options you have in building your assignment. Building assignments in Canvas offers a lot of options and opportunities because of the rich content editor. This section here is where you're going to post your directions and your resources for the assignment. Just like you can do on a Canvas page, you can insert links, you can add in images, you can also do your media record. So again, I highly recommend that you consider putting your directions in a video format for your students. Think about how many times you go over the directions in person and you go over it and you go over it, you go over it, and someone is still maybe a little lost. Being able to embed your video of you giving the directions out loud is a very easy and powerful tool that Canvas gives us. So you can also insert a document, or you can put in videos and things like that from the plugin. It's really, really important to understand that when you use these apps, if I want to put in a studio, like a video that I want my students to watch and do the questions within a video like an Edpuzzle, I want to make sure that I'm embedding those as how they're submitting it. The only thing you really want up here is how they're going to view things. Nothing up here is what they're actually going to submit. So these are really just adding in your directions and your resources. So embedding a video that you want them to watch, or posting a picture that you want them to analyze or reflect on, or you might put in a link to an article you want them to read, or to a document, a PDF that you would want them to read, but you're not putting anything up here that they're going to download and print, or you're not putting a Word document in here that they're going to save or a PowerPoint that they're going to save. We're going to do all of that later in the second part of this. So this is just using this rich content editor to build up a very robust assignment directions. Probably the most misunderstood part of the assignments capabilities on Canvas are the submission types. You have essentially 3 types that you might use right now while we're in the virtual setting: no submission, online, or external tool. On paper is something that we will use when students are back in front of us, but for right now it doesn't really have a function for us in this setting. The one that comes up first is online, and you can choose one or all of the options here. So if you are posting something, a question or a video you want your students to watch, or a picture that you want them to analyze, and you just want them to type in a short response, maybe it's a few sentences, might be as much as a paragraph or 2, and you just want them to be able to type directly into Canvas and submit their work, that's a text entry. If you want them, if they've been creating a website, or maybe you want them to go find a course, an article, or find a resource, and you want them to post the website for which they found it, you can use that as a submission type as well. Media recordings, just like you can record a video that is embedded right into Canvas, they can do the exact same thing. And so if you want them to do a media recording or a text entry, you can leave these both as options. I would highly, highly encourage you to use the media recordings option with text entry. Unless you are actually grading the writing process itself or the written content that they are writing, I would really encourage you to leave this open, because some of your students will engage more if they don't need to type out a long response and they can just share their thoughts in this media recording option. You're going to have another outlet for those students who are really not interested in typing, or maybe they're really slow at typing. They're only going to give you a sentence or 2, but they're going to share a lot more of their thinking with that media recordings. You can also have them upload a file, but again, this is not giving them a Word doc that they're going to save and edit and then upload again. This might be if you had them create a PowerPoint and you didn't give them a template, something like that. If you're giving them the Word doc, or you're giving them the PowerPoint that you want them to edit and submit, this is not where you do this. This is where you're just having them submit something that they have created themselves. So again, these are all online entry options, but these are not the only options you have. You also have external tools. So from here, this is where you're going to do your Flipgrids or your Edpuzzles. If you have something that you're doing in code.org, you can send them there. If you have an Edpuzzle video that you have connected your account to your Canvas account, you can assign an Edpuzzle video and it will do all the grading for you and put it into your Canvas gradebook. If you are doing something with Office 365, if I want to give them a Word doc and I want them to be able to have their own copy of it made and they can type in it and submit it just like we did in Teams in the spring, this is how you're doing this. You're not going to give them a Word doc in the top part and have them save it. You're going to use the Office 365 Cloud assignment. This has to be a Word doc or a PowerPoint. You cannot give them a PDF here. Again, if you are using Nearpod and you want to have them go through a Nearpod as an assignment, then you're going to do all of that here. You're not going to embed it at the top. If I have a studio video that I've created where I have put in questions throughout a video I've created and I want them to answer the questions and I want it to auto grade it for me and put it right into my Canvas gradebook, I'm going to do all of that here. So again, you're going to go through these options and you're going to choose your external tool. Once you have created your assignment, you're going to hit Save. And now we can add this to our actual module. And you'll see that it shows you which sections have which due date. Once I have looked at all of my details and I've decided that my assignment is ready to publish, I'm going to click on the Publish button. From here, once I'm ready to insert this into a module, I'm going to click on the module link in Course Navigation, and I'm going to go to the module for which I'd want to put this assignment in. So whichever module that is, I'm going to push the plus sign, and now it comes up with Add an Assignment, and you'll remember we called it Writing Reflection. So I'm going to scroll through. This is the list of all the assignments that I have created in this course. And so I'm going to click on the assignment title and I'm going to click Add Item. It'll show up here at the very bottom and I can click and drag it wherever I need it to go. You'll also see that it has multiple due dates, so you can hover over this to see which sections have which due dates if needed. You also see, just like your students will see, how many points it is worth in the gradebook. That's a basic overview of assignments in Canvas. If you have more questions or need help navigating assignments and creating assignments, I would encourage you to check out the Canvas training portal or contact me, your IIC.